All right, on the ropes out here at Andrew Council, man. I wanted to talk about, man, the rankings, man. It seemed like Trey is flying up the ranks. Currently, I saw you had posted he was 17. Next thing I look up on BoxRec, he had 15 in the U.S. and 38 in the world, man. How you feel about that?
I'm happy about that. I see that Travon is steady climbing the ladder in the rankings. Yeah, I was surprised too because last time I looked, it was 17th. And something told me to go check because I was checking the actual seed that they announced his opponent yet. So when I went to check to see they announced his opponent, I seen that he had moved up two more slots, it was a great move.
I was talking to Trey about that, and I wanted to talk to you about it because, a few years ago, man, Trey talked about it. He wasn't that name that everybody was looking towards coming out of the amateurs, and to see where he is today, the way he moved from basically from the bottom up, grinding to where we are today.
Yes, like I said, Trey didn't have that huge amateur background. He only had 62 fights. But I had told Trey, man, you're gonna climb the ladder fast, and he didn't understand why. But I told him you have like a pro style, like your amateur fights was just getting fights just to learn how to fight. You already know how to fight now. All we had to do is change a few things up, and you'll do better as a pro than you'll do as an amateur.
What was it that you saw in Trey that made you really believe in him? The reason I asked that because at the time, Trey said he was actually working, and you came to him as like, I need you to give me your all, 100% into boxing. So what was it about Trey that really said, I can move him?
I actually seen a kid that was real dedicated, and I looked at all the tools that he had in his toolbox, and I knew right then and there. I said, this kid got it. I mean, he had a great work ethic. I seen him had a good jab, a right hand uppercut, body shots. That's a complete fighter, and I knew them the tools that can take him a long way in a professional game, because in a professional game, we have coaches that can take away one thing. But when I looked at him, I said, this kid got several things, so that's a different type of kid. It's going to be hard to beat him. Only type of person that really beat him would be somebody like him, not being dedicated to the sport. So that's when I knew that if he dedicated himself to this sport, he'll take off like a rocket.
Have you ever seen something like that with someone less than 10 fights move up like that?
Yes, a lot of Olympian guys.
That's why I asked you the question.
Like
Olympians.
Yeah, he's moving at an Olympian pace, and it's funny because a lot of guys that are Olympian, he actually sparred a lot of them guys. So me getting that type of sparring, them type of guys, I already knew that. I knew that he was going to shine. I just knew that he was going to shine.
Now, again, we don't know the opponent on May 13th, correct?
We don't know the opponent yet.
But
we have names, but a lot of the guys are 16 and 1, and we have a couple of 17 and 0. They turning down the fights right now, so we still hoping and we can wing one of them guys in and take the challenge.
I was going to ask you that part of the game because right now we're in a situation where, like you said, Trey ranked 15 in the U.S. As he continues to climb, how much harder is it to get a fight? Because you want to put yourself in a position like you said, you targeting names that other contenders and that have targeted. So how frustrating is that when you get, when you're in that limbo situation as far as trying to get those type of fights for Trey, and you don't want to go backwards to take a lesser opponent, but sometimes you have to, correct?
Yeah, sometimes you have to, but we looking forward. We looking at guys in the top 15, actually guys in the top 10. Like I said, I mentioned this before, we have 2 fight dates scheduled, and the second guy is going to be a step. Both fights is a step up, but the second guy is going to be a step up fight. So we trying to get somebody in the top 15 right now, and after that, the next guy that we fight after that definitely going to be in the top 10.
I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it. The conversation you were having with Keith, basically talking about when you got certain skill levels in your gym that you work with on the daily, take advantage of that when you get to the match. Is that pretty much what I'm summarizing?
Yeah, well, I actually was just telling Keith Saunders. I said, look, you working with Travon, you working with Dave, you working with Stefan, you working with Monzo, and you're also working with other guys that are bringing, which are quality guys, quality undefeated prospect. You gotta get that experience from them, and when you fight, you have to show that you've been working with them type of guys. You can't spar these top guys and top contenders and do good with them, and then you go to the fight and don't show up, that's not a good look because your path is going to be different compared to some of these other guys.
You know, that's a great point there because, like you said, when you're trying to move fighters, they looking at certain things with your fighters, and they saw you just came back from what the
The
Nationals
national,
and the
yeah,
Golden Gloves. This was a perfect opportunity
to
to
shine.
unleash and
Yeah,
shine.
I feel like he should have took advantage of that coming from the Nationals, have a little sour taste in your mouth, saying, "Man, I was that close." Now you come back home to the Golden Gloves. This is your chance to come right back and prove from the Nationals that was just a hiccup. That's not who I am. This supposed to show this is who I am because it's a different type of quality of guys.
Now, last question for you, Andrew. We got the Javante Tank Davis Ryan Garcia fight coming up next week. Who you got? What's the breakdown of how they win? How they win that fight?
I think it's a great fight. I think more of the young top guys need to get together and fight. I think this. I think it will be a good fight. I think early. I think Tank gonna take his time, gauge Garcia speed, length, and stuff like that. But I just truly believe that Tank is on another level compared to Garcia. And I look at the guys that Garcia fought, the Southpaws, that he just fought two of them, and I seen them guys hit him with certain punches. And I know once Tank gauges the distance and start walking down, if he touch him with the same punches that them other two guys touch him with, I, I think this might end Garcia's career.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I think it might because I don't think he's the type of guy that can be able to take a knockout. I think he might be able to take that loss, but a brutal knockout, I don't think he's mentally enough, strong enough to take that type of beating because he's a guy that stays on social media all the time. So he won't be able to hide from that knockout that I think is going to happen. That's going to be put out to the world
And yeah, you already know, like the situation with the Rolly knockout, they'll show it over and
over and
over
over
and
again.
over again. You better have a strong mental to
Yeah.
deal with that, seeing that every
And
day.
as you know, he's not the strongest mental kid. That's why I think this fight right here can do a lot of damage to him. That's just what I believe. I think Tank is going to knock him out, and you probably hear that probably be the end of Ryan Garcia.
All right, there you have it. Drew giving his thoughts on the Tank Davis Ryan Garcia fight. There you have it. Triple Threat Gym on the ropes. We out.